Okay. Okay, so today there are a few important topics. Recently, when I come back from Singapore, and then we do a dinner in KL, many people ask me this question. So, we are going overseas. Should I go for the influenza jab or not? Flu jab or not? And especially my mother saying that now it's very serious. We must get our influenza jab because the influenza season is here already. Okay, you see, whenever there is an influenza season, right, there is always the weather is slightly hotter. Okay, so in TCM, right, whenever there is a warmer season, more sunlight, there is a tendency to have more flu. But this flu is not as what doctors say as influenza or all kind of virus. This is just a body way to remove the kind of dampness from the body. So this is why you see you get dizzy, you get shoulder stiffness, you keep on coughing, you got a lot of phlegm. But all the phlegm is, is a white color, transparent color mostly. And so you have to take it as a very natural way of body detox cycle when the weather is hot. Okay, so this is something very new to most people because most people think that if they got flu means got virus attack or infection. But in TCM, very seldom they think like this. It's really about how your body have a warmer temperature. Okay, I give you an example. Maybe in the early for the past few months, right? It's not so cold. Always got raining season, right? And the weather is generally colder. And this is why our body, the blood will go to our skin layer to keep the body warm. So we have very little blood to stay in our heart in order to repair. So when the temperature slightly increased, so there is more blood flowing back to the heart in order to do the healing. So a lot of internal things is going to waste is going to come up. So it's perfectly normal if you're straight out with flu these days. Just don't get alarmed. Don't immediately go to hospital. And you see, last time when you got flu, right, we take it very easy. But now, whenever there's flu and fever, right, it's like our threshold of tolerance becomes so weak that we want to go to hospital already. And then it's not just go to clinic, Sometimes even a flu, you have got a little bit of fever, we go straight to hospital already. We think that we go to a bigger hospital, then it's safer for us, right? I tell you, this is a very wrong mindset. Okay, so today we are going to talk about influenza jab. Okay, any one of you here are hesitating, should I go for or not? Because the flu jab is free and the doctor say it's important when I'm healthy, better get this flu jab because I'm going overseas with my family. I also want to my family and my parents to get the jab. But I also worry about the vaccination because the vaccination from the COVID, there are times, right, there are so many side effects I heard about. So you are a bit hesitating. Anyone is anyone here are on the fence one, thinking yes or no. You type 333. You type 333. Anyone that should I go or should I not? Because vaccination, I got a lot of worry after the COVID vaccine. No, but if I don't go, if I go overseas, will I get the influenza or not? So the purpose of today is just to make you understand the development process of the flu jab, the influenza vaccination, so to say, and you make the decision. And I'm very sure at the end of this, maybe I'll keep it in 30 minutes. You see the decision, your understanding become very clear. Okay, so let us start. Okay, so you guys can see Okay, wait It should be here. Okay, so first of all, let us understand the development process of the influenza jab. Okay, so CDC is like sort of the health organization in United States, right? Every year, they collected more than 1 million patient specimens to be tested in clinical labs participating in the domestic disease surveillance. And about 100,000 of the specimens are tested in 93 public health labs. Then CDC conduct full genetic sequencing on about 7,000 flu viruses each year and test about 2,000 flu viruses to determine their immune properties. And after that, they will select 50 viruses for vaccine production. So what it means that this, for example, right, maybe this year 2025, okay, this year is 2025, right? So there are 1 million people who got certain flu. Okay, so I collect the specimen for this 1 million patient. For example, maybe their blood, their mucus, uh, 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 all the source of the virus. Okay, and then I take it to my lab, just to store. So for example, I got 1 million A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, A2000, B1, B2, B2000, 1 million specimen. So out of this, I selected the 100 most commonly occur specimens. Like for example, maybe me and Bona and Rachel, a lot of us, we have a very similar kind of virus. So then these 100,000 selected specimens were tested in the health labs. Then from all these 100,000, we selected the 7,000 flu virus, which is one of the most common. So from this 7,000, for example, maybe got A1, A2, A3, until A7,000. So all these 7,000 of viruses, I do their genetic sequencing. You can think about genetic sequencing like genetic tracing. Okay, so it's a okay, from this 7,000 virus, I look at their genetic data. I want to find out what is their lineage. That means maybe this virus A1 is from ZXY slowly evolved to be A1. So this 7,000, I do their genetic analysis. I try to learn about their lineage. What is their what is their genes before they mutate into the existing virus. So out of these 7,000, they chose another 2,000 virus to determine their immune properties. So 7,000 is too much. They choose 2,000. So this 2,000, say A1 to A2000. Okay, these 2,000 viruses is the most common. And we think that this has a very higher chance to be circulated in the population. So let's target this 2,000 virus because we have 1 million virus. We cannot do vaccine for 1 million, right? So let me start with this 2,000. So from this 2,000, I know, okay, so the A1, they don't like hot. Maybe A2, they don't like spicy. A3, they don't like salty. A4, they don't like sour. So from these 2,000 flu viruses, right, we know what is their dislike. Okay, because a vaccination is about try to know what the virus don't like so we can kill the virus. Okay, so we want to know about this virus immune properties, and so that at the final stage, we collected 50 viruses, the 50 strain of the viruses, which is the most common. Okay, that means we are confident to say that if we have vaccination for this 50 strain of viruses, right, all the 1 million people who even you have different kind of virus, right, more or less this 50 virus is able to develop the immunity and the antibody for you already. So they select the 50. So A1 to A50, these viruses are selected. And then based on these A1 to A50 viruses, I start to produce the vaccination. Okay, so far you guys can follow. If you can follow that 333, you can follow that 333. They mean for a lot of specimens, slowly select which one is a higher likelihood to be circulated, and then slowly they choose the 50 to start the vaccination production process. Okay, so now let me ask you this question, sir. Let me ask you this question. If I have ABCD virus this week, okay, ABCD virus this week, that means maybe in Singapore, Malaysia right now, we have a lot of viruses named ABCD, this fine type of viruses. Do you think that if today I immediately produce a vaccine for ABCDE, okay, next week the virus is going to mutate again, right? Okay, because the virus keep mutating, right? Because as the body get the antibody, the immunity, somehow the virus will find their way to mutate and find a way to survive, to circulate. So maybe until next week, the virus become 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 already. So even though you have been jabbed with the ABCDE vaccination, but next week it mutate to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you are going to get affected again. Okay? So, so that means, right, then you might think there is no point for you to do the viruses that is endangered right now, right? There's no point because you know that even you have developed these 50 viruses with the vaccine, in a not so distant future, they are going to mutate again. Then what is the point, right? So this is why the actual vaccination production is go by prediction. What it means by predictions, this week the virus is A, B, C, D, E. Okay? I don't do the vaccination based on A, B, C, D, E. I do the vaccination based on after collecting all the data and the data and our clinical studies, I estimate my guessing is agak-agak A, B, C, D, E viruses next week will mutate to FG A, B, C, D, FGHIJ. So agak-agak. So next week, I agak all these A, B, C, D, E virus will mutate into FGHIJ. Based on this FGHIJ, I developed the vaccine for you guys. So now the first issue comes. Okay? So the vaccine first are made to target the most likely viruses to circulate. That means number one is by guessing already. That means I guess this vaccination is for F viruses because I think I agak-agak in the upcoming flu season, the virus will be mutated and circulating is F virus. Okay, I agak only. And then, so I'm going to read this for you, okay? Making the flu vaccine a year-round effort. The job of producing a new vaccine for the next flu season start well before the current season ends. What it means is this. You jab a vaccination right now is based on the vaccination production is done last year that based on their prediction that what is going to be the virus going to be infectious for you. Flu viruses are constantly evolving. The flu viruses that circulate and cause disease in people often change from one year or another, necessitating a new vaccine every year. I really want you guys to think about this. It means that even this year you take the flu jab. I don't care whether is it they predict agak-agak, they make a right guess or not. Even they make a right guess, every year the flu virus still change. Are you going to take a vaccination for the rest of your life? So to accomplish this, the FDA, the World Health Organization, and other partners collaborate by collecting and reviewing data on the circulating flu strain from around the world to identify those likely to cause the most illness in the upcoming season. What it means? It means that they agak-agak only. They only try to guess what is going to be a virus that can trouble you. Guess only. But you think about this, right? Do you think that we can think about how the virus being mutated? Every year, after so many thousand years of agriculture, we can't predict the weather. We can't predict how many harvests, how many tonnage of the durian production. We can't control. We don't exactly know how big is the wind. We don't exactly know about the earthquake. This is why we still got a lot of natural disasters that is beyond our prediction. And we have so millions, a thousand and thousands of strain of virus. And the scientist is trying to tell you, I can predict what virus that you're going to get in the next flu season, and I'm going to make a vaccination now for you. Do you think this sound logic? This sound convincing for you for the efficacy of the vaccination? If you think that, If you think that, this one only agak-agak only one you feel a bit shocked. You type 111. If you think that yeah, it's okay, the agak-agak is fine, it's better than nothing. You type 222. If you think that after listening to what I say, you think that it's like this one, the agak-agak only one, you type 111. If you think that, oh, it's okay, the agak-agak, they type 222. Okay, this is why even the doctors don't understand the development process. Okay, so this is what I mean. Like CUGHK developed a state-of-the-art computational model to accurately forecast viral genetic evolution and facilitate improvement of influenza vaccine protective effect. So so many universities that provide biotech, they start to develop this kind of, they're using artificial intelligence to calculate, to do a forecast how the virus do their evolution and mutation so that I can predict down the line how many vaccine I need. So this is why now you see there are 4, 5, 6, 7 vaccination. They come, they roll out almost every quarters of every 6 months times, right? You think that they really collect all the correct data? No, they all run the computer's data to think that, oh, this ABCD is this week, next week is FGHI, then the following is JKLMNO, then the QXYZ. So they have mapped up already for the next 5 years or so, every 1 quarter, every half a year, what are the new agak-agak virus is going to come. So I prepare all the vaccine already. I just going to sit there and receive my money because the government is going to push for the vaccination. Huh? You get you'll get a understanding. Then you will say, but a lot of vaccination is given free. Given free is because the money still come from your tax. You pay the tax, the government spend your tax money to buy the vaccination, to give it to you, and they themselves, they can do, I don't know how the governor is going to do their work, but don't think that free things is definitely good for you. Okay? The money come from somewhere. Although we don't know, it's from now. So then let's us think about the flu vaccination, okay? So imagine. So these scientists really so accurately predicted how would be the mutated virus to be. Okay, say they really agak so 准 100% predicted the real virus already. Predicted really happened. So now they start to develop the vaccine. Okay, so now the vaccine jet into you. What do you think is the success rate or the efficacy rate? Here it used the word VE, means vaccine effectiveness. So how many percent of vaccine effectiveness that you think is acceptable before the government force you to do this jab? Like for example, if you think that, oh, I think if the efficacy is about 20%, government ask me to jab, I can jab already. If you think that, no, government need to ask me to have 100% only I can go and jab, or else what for to risk my life? So how many percentage do you think is acceptable for the vaccine effectiveness for you to think that the government can push you to go for jab? You make a guess. How many percent? How many percent? You'll make a guess. How many percent? How many percent you think that is acceptable that the government is able the efficacy of the vaccination should allow you to it means to re-push you to go and jab. Okay, 80%, 30%, 90%, 20%, okay. 20%, this one you are 5%, 5%, 5% effectiveness, that you are allowed to jab already. That means if 5% effectiveness means 95% can have a very can be a bad side effect, When you say 5% means 95% can have serious side effect, and then you don't bother, Okay. So let me give you the data, okay? So this is the seasonal flu vaccine effectiveness. Okay, so 2009, 2010 until 2021 and 2002. So let's say for the past 5 years, the vaccination efficacy is about 36, 32, maybe about 36, 37%. About that. about 36%, 13%, yeah, about 36%. Okay. Are you shocked about all this vaccine efficacy, effectiveness data? That means whatever the doctors is trying to push you to go to the jab, right? Although there is no compulsory things that the doctor written, everyone need to go to the flu jab, not as strongly as the COVID-19 vaccine. But now you go to doctors, right? The doctor always wants you to go for the jab, keep on pushing you and promoting you to go to the jab, right? But are you shocked to hear that it's only 36% efficacy? If you think, oh, 36% is very low, so low, you type 111. If you think that 36%, oh, very high, higher than I expected, you type 222. Which one do you think? So that means even they have predicted the correct one. Okay? The correct one, after you jab, is only 36% that you can develop to the actual antibody to prevent you for the influenza. Okay, 36%. And they have carried out studies in European countries to find out about is the coverage of the vaccination has a direct correlation with the influenza-like illness immunity. For example, maybe Singapore have a 90% population being jabbed and Malaysia have only 10%. So supposedly Malaysia will get more influenza, right? But the other way around happen. The country will have a lot of influenza vaccination. It turned out that they get even more people who get the influenza. But the country who have less vaccination, their influenza doesn't seem to be higher. So these studies is being published quite some time ago just to tell you that the concept, the theory is there. But when the vaccination is being rolled out and the final outcome doesn't match with the predicted result. Maybe we all think that more vaccination means higher immunity, right? But it turns out very wrong. Something like the COVID-19 vaccine. We all think that after doing the COVID-19 vaccine, right, we can get healthier, we are safer against COVID, right? But how many people, even after 3-4 jabs, right, they are still getting COVID problems time and time again. Okay, not to mention about all the serious side effects some people has been experiencing. Okay, so and then they talk about the effectiveness of only last year, the effectiveness of the influenza vaccine in preventing the secondary infection. So this is very ironic. Ironically, this is the result. So in this case, 699 primary cases and 1,581 household contact. The secondary infection risk of influenza infection among unvaccinated household contact was 18.8%. That means if you don't vaccine, if you are not vaccinated, if you got the influenza, you have about 18.8% chance to pass it to your family. So the estimated effectiveness of influenza vaccine for preventing secondary infection among household contact was 21%. It means the effectiveness is 21%. It means if you vaccine, the risk of you being spread to your household reduce 20% from this 18.8%. Means that I said 16%, okay? Drop until 16%. Do you think that, okay, last time during the COVID era, right? Do you remember we are all told that you need to vaccine. It's not about you, it's about your family. You have to protect others. This is why you need to vaccine. Do you remember this is always the slogan that you need to vaccine to protect the rest around you, to protect the elderly, to protect the young baby. So then we get so affected. Then we want to do the vaccine because we want to protect the people around us. We don't want to pass down the disease to them. Do you remember those kind of motion, those kind of movement? You remember that 111? Do you remember? It's like, oh, you have to take vaccine, you have to be responsible for your children, for your household. Do you remember? So this study is trying to show you that if today you don't vaccine, the likelihood for you to spread to your household is 18.8%. But if you take a vaccine, it will reduce by 21%. It means that from 15.8% reduced to 16%. So do you think that in order for you to reduce the rate of transmission among your household by that 3 or 4%, that you want to risk your life to take a vaccination every year for a vaccine that based on prediction what kind of virus will be there with an efficacy of 36%? So I hope this sounds clear to you, okay? And what makes things even worse is this. Now a lot of people starting to advocate for people who are seniors above 65 years old, okay? They are encouraging to have a higher dose of vaccine for people who are 65 years and older. Does it make sense to you? For a 65 years old or a 65 years old and above who is already generally weaker, especially we do not have good environment, good air right now, and you want to have an even higher dose of toxin go into their body to protect them against a virus at a with a vaccine with 33%, 36% success rate. Do you think it's logical to you? And yet 65 years old give you even higher dose, Crazy? Okay. So now do you learn something from here? The idea is this. Today, whether you want to jab or you don't want to jab is completely up to you. Anyway, you jab or don't jab, I'm not going to get anything. But I want to let you know, before you ask the question, should I receive the jab, you know about the data behind. The virus that in the vaccine right now is based on the agar-agarness, the agar-agar of the scientists that is maybe last year. And this vaccine has less than 40% of the efficacy. And even that vaccine work, and when you get the influenza, the risk of spreading to your loved one just reduced by about 4%. Can you get the whole pictures now? If you guys are getting the full pictures, yeah, now I get the pictures. You type 555. If you think that you are learning something, you also can type 555. You think that, oh, I see. All this vaccine is based on agar what is going to happen one, and then I jab on myself, and not necessarily when I jab, for sure I'm going to get the result only less than 40%. And even I get that 30+% of the result, I just only reduce the risk of transmission to others by 4%. Amazing, huh? So this is something for you guys to decide. Okay, because sometimes, right, you guys can be how confident. Yes, no. But I know one vaccination, I know it's not good. But when you go to doctors, right? Doctor say something, don't listen to others lah. Now you're healthy, better jab lah, or else you see the Taiwanese movie star in the Japan, they pass away, right? So you have to go and jab. You are going to go and jab anyway. Okay, but at least I do my part. I just let you know. If you ask me yes or no, I will never go. I will never go. Because to be frank, even this year you go already. Even this year you go. How many years you can go? How many toxin your body is able to really take it? This year take already. Next year you don't think there is a new one? Next year take already. You don't think next year this will be a new one? There is always with many more vaccination because it is a huge business. The moment one vaccination roll out, maybe they feel maybe one or maybe less than 100 million to do a R&D and roll out. They reap the benefit for billions. With a benefit for billions. And now there is a new jab coming for COVID, approved by FDA already, start with N. Okay, now N, start with N. A new COVID vaccine has approved by FDA recently, and it's going to come very soon, I believe. Okay, because the cases in COVID also rising right now. So I want you guys now, before all this strike to you, make a decision first. When you got sick, when you got fever, when you got flu, right? There are many other ways to recover. It's just that last time it just flu. It sounds not so serious. But when you turn flu into influenza, It makes it sound so serious, but it is not so serious. It is just our body. It's just that we are not patient enough to give that 3 to 5 days time for it to pass away, for the body to develop the natural immunity. We are so kanjong to immediately, we got a little bit feverish, right? Then we worry that it will burn our brain. We worry that if we keep coughing, right, it will damage our lung, damage our kidney, because COVID last time they are organ failure. We get all this kind of fear that we want to act as quick as possible, and then when you go to doctors and hospital, right, you will never get well anyway. So now I want to prep you first. Okay, now is the influenza season already. Okay, more and more people is going to get. As long as your appetite is still okay, three to 4 days time is normal. Get it, sweat it out. Okay, drink some ginger water. Like when I was in Sabah, someone I think straight out with influenza. You know what she take? She says she feel body very hot. She take yogurt. Stupid. So you don't take yogurt, take some hot drinks, take some ginger, take some gauji, drink some red dates, some a little bit of sweetness to open out the appetite. Take porridge, give the body enough energy, go under the sunlight, go under the blanket, make it sweat it out. Your body will heal very fast. And then whenever all this flu have passed, you will emerge much healthier. You emerge much healthier. Why I'm so sure, because right, last time whenever I sick, even I take medications, right, it still take me very long time to heal. So up to the times where I don't take medication already. So I realized the moment I stop taking medication, every flu that I strike, I just rely on myself. Maybe initially it take me 1 week or so to recover all by myself. You know, I drink ginger water, I put myself in the blanket, I sweat it out, I go under the sunlight, and then I just do some breathing exercise, I just eat porridge, I eat very light. So maybe initially last time when I was young, it take me maybe 7 days to heal. But now maybe 2 3 days I count him already. And every time when I recover from a flu, right, I get healthier. So for me, the Western is trying to make flu sounds like influenza. But I want to make you feel that the flu is also a healing process. That when the weather get hotter, the body have more blood to heal the internal organ, all the dampness is going to pass up. It's perfectly fine. Okay, guys. Okay, I hope you learn something. So at least I make my mark just to let you know. I really don't encourage you guys to go for influenza jab. And I have seen so many brand partners, even in the Zoom, after going for the influenza jab, they have developed a very, very serious cough. Okay.